God has an urgent message for you today about a wound in your heart that hasn't healed. That relative who hurt you and then refused to apologize, this isn't just a painful memory, it's a divine wake-up call about your spiritual journey. God sees how this person's actions, followed by their refusal to acknowledge what they did, has created a hidden burden in your life. This message comes with love to help you find healing even without the apology you deserve. What happened to you matters to God, and He wants to free you from the chains of this unresolved pain. As you hear these words, know that God sees the invisible weight you carry from this relative's actions and their refusal to make things right. It's normal to feel hurt, angry, or to keep hoping they'll finally acknowledge what they did. Remember that God is watching over your heart with tender care. This message isn't about getting revenge or forcing an apology. It's a divine invitation to find healing regardless of what they do. You're receiving this guidance because your spirit can't fully soar while carrying this heavy burden. Even when complete resolution feels impossible because the other person refuses to participate, trust that this message is a blessing. God is offering you a path to peace that doesn't depend on whether your relative ever admits what they did to you. As you think about this relative and what remains unresolved between you, take time to notice how this affects your daily life. Just like carrying an invisible backpack filled with rocks, this unacknowledged hurt drains your energy in ways you might not even realize. Hold on to your capacity for trust and openness, but let go of the desperate need for this person to finally admit what they did. Just like a physical wound needs proper cleaning before it can heal, emotional injuries need acknowledgement. But sometimes that acknowledgement must come from yourself and God when others refuse to provide it. This divine message isn't meant to punish your relative or force them to apologize. It's meant to transform you, freeing you from waiting for something that might never come. The truth is, your healing doesn't have to depend on their choices. God sees what happened, acknowledges your pain, and offers a different path forward. This relative may never change or apologize, but with divine help you can still become whole again despite their refusal. This situation with your relative is more than just a painful family event. It's a spiritual checkpoint in your journey. It's a time for you to discover that healing is possible even when others refuse to participate in the process. Face this truth with a brave heart. Complete resolution may never come in the way you've been hoping for. There's a loving plan at work in your life, and sometimes that plan includes learning to heal without the closure you deserve. Difficult as it is when someone refuses to acknowledge harm they've caused, see this as an opportunity to develop spiritual muscles you never knew you had. Every painful interaction becomes a chance to practice setting boundaries and honoring your own experience even when others deny it. When the weight of this unresolved situation feels too heavy, reach out in prayer for guidance. God always sees the complete truth of what happened and validates your experience. In your prayers, you'll find the strength to write a new story that doesn't require your relative's participation or approval to move toward wholeness. As we've explored this journey toward healing from unacknowledged hurts, I'd like to continue supporting your spiritual growth. If these divine messages about finding peace despite others' refusal to apologize resonate with your spirit, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel. You'll receive more guidance on healing family wounds, even when the other person never says they're sorry. Pay attention to signs that this unacknowledged wound is still affecting your life today. These aren't just random problems. They are divine signals showing where healing needs to happen. As you move through your days, notice when certain situations trigger intense reactions that seem bigger than the current moment. You might feel your heart race, your muscles tense, or sudden anger flare when something reminds you of what this relative did. You might notice yourself becoming defensive in new relationships, expecting others to hurt you and refuse accountability, just like Your relative did. You might dream about confrontations that never happened in real life, or find yourself rehearsing what you wish you could say to them. Your body stores these unresolved hurts in ways your mind tries to ignore. Chronic tension, digestive issues, sleep problems, or frequent illnesses can all be physical signs of emotional wounds that were never properly addressed. These symptoms aren't just in your head. They're your body's way of saying this situation still needs attention. Trust these signals from your body and emotions. When something feels unfinished or when memories of what happened keep surfacing, that's God's guidance system within you, highlighting areas that need divine healing. Honor these reactions as messengers pointing toward your path to freedom. Remember, you're not facing this unresolved hurt alone. God is with you, surrounding you with healing love even when human acknowledgement is withheld. Around you stands a team of guardian angels, spiritual guides and heavenly helpers, all working to support your healing journey regardless of your relative's choices. This message about finding peace without an apology is designed to free you, not to increase your pain, and every part of this healing process is under divine care. Feel thankful for this divine intervention, for it shows how deeply your emotional well-being matters to God. Each step you take toward healing, without requiring the other person's participation, brings you closer to the freedom you deserve. The universe holds your wounded heart with tender compassion, and nothing can separate you from this love, not even a relative's stubborn refusal to acknowledge what they did. When human relationships fail to provide the closure we need, divine love steps in to fill those gaps, offering a different kind of resolution that doesn't depend on another person's willingness to change or apologize. Divine timing, God's perfect clock is working in your healing journey right now. When you receive this message about moving beyond your relative's refusal to apologize at exactly this moment in your life, that's sacred timing at work. God is addressing this wound now because you're finally ready to heal it differently than you've tried before. These moments show you're connected to God's plan for your complete restoration, living in harmony with divine guidance, even through painful family situations. As you recognize these divine nudges toward a new approach to healing, let them build your confidence. Each insight confirms you're being guided toward freedom that doesn't depend on others' choices. Pay attention to these moments of clarity and appreciate their perfect timing. They aren't random realizations. They're part of a loving plan to release you from waiting for an apology that might never come. Keep your heart open to these divine messages about independent healing. The more you recognize and accept them, the clearer your path to peace becomes, with or without your relative's participation. Just as you receive these divine messages about healing from unacknowledged hurts, your support helps us continue sharing similar guidance with others trapped in painful waiting for apologies that never come. A small super thanks of $5, $10, or $20 allows these important messages of independent healing to reach those who feel stuck in unresolved family pain just like yours. As you face the reality that this relative may never apologize or acknowledge what they did, believe that this challenge can still lead to amazing spiritual growth. Just like an oyster transforms an irritating grain of sand into a beautiful pearl, your spirit can transform this painful situation into wisdom and strength. God arranges these difficult lessons perfectly, using even others' limitations as catalysts for your development. Focus on nurturing your inner healing because that quiet restoration happens independently of anyone else's choices. When you stop waiting for closure from someone who refuses to provide it, and instead turn toward divine sources of validation, wonderful changes begin inside you. Relationships you never thought possible start flourishing as you bring less unresolved baggage to them. Every step you take toward healing, without requiring your relative's participation, brings you closer to freedom and wholeness. The profound truth is that while apologies and acknowledgement are what we rightfully deserve, our healing doesn't have to be held hostage by their absence. Your relationship with God remains your greatest resource during these challenging family situations, providing the validation and truth-telling that your relative has withheld from you. As you journey toward healing from this relative's actions and their refusal to apologize, make it a habit to say, "My healing is not dependent on others' acknowledgement." Speak these words with complete trust each morning and whenever memories of the hurt surface. This simple practice builds a protective shield around your spirit that the absence of apology cannot penetrate. When sadness or anger arises from waiting for words that never come, pause for a moment. Use this time to quiet your mind and connect with the divine truth inside you. Trust that God is working a pathway to peace that doesn't require your relative's participation. Begin each day thanking God for validating your experience when others refuse to do so. When you fill your thoughts with this independent healing approach, you create room for miracles that don't depend on another person changing. Try this healing prayer. Divine Spirit, help me find peace that doesn't depend on words I may never hear from others. I release my need for their acknowledgement and accept your perfect understanding of my experience. Your willingness to find alternative sources of validation is the key that unlocks freedom from waiting for an apology that might never come. During this healing journey, you're not just restoring your own heart, but also becoming someone who can help others trapped in similar waiting patterns. Your experience offers you a unique chance to show God's healing power when human resolution is withheld. Each day gives you new opportunities to strengthen your independent healing path and share hope with those waiting for apologies they may never receive. As you pray for wholeness and connect with God's validation, remember to reach out to supportive friends who understand this journey. Your story can inspire and encourage others who might be suffering in silence, waiting for acknowledgement from people unable or unwilling to provide it. Use your experience to bring light to someone else's unresolved pain. Embrace each conversation as a chance to build a community of mutual understanding, creating connections based on shared healing rather than shared wounds. In this journey toward peace without closure, we grow stronger together, supporting each other through prayer and compassion, reminding one another that our healing doesn't have to wait for someone else's words or actions to make us whole. In closing, as we face the reality of this unacknowledged hurt and the missing apology, let's move forward with courage and new understanding. Be prepared to welcome God's complete validation, face difficult emotions without waiting for external resolution, and recognize the freedom that comes when you no longer depend on someone else's acknowledgement to heal. Trust in the power of divine truth and in God's perfect understanding of exactly what happened between you and this relative. You are on a path to wholeness that doesn't require their participation. Keep saying, "My healing is not dependent on others' acknowledgement," and watch as the weight of waiting for an apology gradually lifts from your spirit. If this message has helped you find a new pathway to peace, despite a relative's refusal to apologize, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more divine guidance. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a healing message meant specifically for your situation. When you share this video, you might help someone else who's been stuck waiting for an apology that never comes. Each person who finds freedom through this message becomes part of your spiritual legacy of healing. Dear Lord, please give us strength to find peace even when others refuse to acknowledge our pain, and the wisdom to see your complete understanding as enough. Amen. If this message has touched your heart or helped you see a way forward without waiting for an apology, consider showing your appreciation with a super thanks of $5, $10, $20 or more. Your support helps us continue sharing these divine messages with others trapped in unresolved family pain. Please share in the comments what spiritual topics or divine messages about healing without closure you'd like to hear in our next video. Your suggestions help us bring you the guidance you need most on your journey toward complete wholeness.